Ted, I think it's very important that we cover this next topic here. Chris Cyborg versus Megan Anderson. And before we talk about that, do you think it was right for Jermaine Durandamy to get stripped of her title? I mean, it hasn't been a year. You know what I mean? Do you think that was right, first off? I know she was kind of running from Cyborg, some may say, but was that right?
Yes, it was. She's a duck. Quack, 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 quack. She was ducking Cyborg. This whole talk about, well, first of all, if you go back to the Holly fight, she said something about, I have a hand injury, and then I think it was at the presser, she said, but I think I should rematch Holly. Well, which is it? Do you need to take time off for the hand injury, or do you want to fight Holly? Which is it there? So that was questionable. Then she's saying, I don't want to fight Cyborg because she's a known cheater. It's like, yeah, but you know what? You were kind of a cheater too. Twice in the Holly fight, you hit her after the bell. So why don't we just call it even and you fight Cyborg? But she refused to do it. So if you're going to refuse to fight the #1 contender, in my opinion, you don't deserve the belt. Whoop! Just take it away. Sorry.
And you know what, Ted? I agree and disagree about the whole cheating thing. I mean, she's calling Cyborg a cheater, but at the same time, it was up to the ref to kind of get in between. But after the second time she did it, it kind of did leave a salty taste in everybody's mouth. You have to fight the #1 contender, especially you knew what you were getting yourself into. After this Holly fight, who did you think was next? You know, and I had the pleasure of interviewing Jermaine Durandamy before her fight with Holly Holm. We spoke for an hour and a half. You know, this kind of seemed like her dream fight. She's never seen the UFC title before in person. She beats Holly Holm. She gets it strapped around her. I kind of felt like she was, you know, satisfied with that. And like you said, after the Holly Holm fight, she didn't have any interest in it. Instead of hyping it up, she was like, oh, you know, my hand. But then, like you said, Ted, she was like, well, I'll fight Holly again. So that's kind of like, come on here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you have to fight who they put in front of you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, if you're a proven champion, if you have clout, you know, say you make like 5 title defenses or whatever, then you might be able to call your shots a little bit with the UFC. You might be able to say, I'll fight this person. You know what I mean? But you've got to put your time in. You've got to mow down a significant portion of the competition first. You know, before you can do that kind of stuff. So she's just right out of the gate. She just gets the belt under controversial circumstances, and she's saying she doesn't want to fight Cyborg, who's the #1 contender. I mean, originally they were going to have Cyborg fight, but Cyborg wanted to fight in March, and they said, no, we want it in February, so that's why they chose Holly and GDR.
They tried twice with Cyborg.
What's that?
They tried twice to make a match for Cyborg before they made the Holly versus GDR.
Yeah, and she was saying, you know, I got health problems. Can we make it March? And you know, they didn't, for whatever reason, the UFC wasn't going to work with her on that, and that's up to them. Whatever, that's their thing. Apparently, they felt some type of reason to get it going, and so GDR had to know. Shit, they were basically forming this division around Cyborg, and okay, yeah, she got busted for roids, great, but since that you got to know that USADA is going to be on her ass. So let that be USADA's problem. Let that be the UFC's problem. Don't you worry about Cyborg and whether she's still cheating or not. Just worry about fighting her. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but yeah, I think it had to be done.
You know, and with Megan Anderson, man, you know, this is something that could have happened in Invicta. Of course, it wouldn't have the spotlight it does now. But I do have to say this. Is the UFC really just going to start picking people instead of just building up this division the right way? They're just picking people out. It's not that exciting to me, and I really think that GDR versus Cyborg would have probably been a more exciting fight, and no shade thrown at Megan. I love Megan. I really do. But I think that GDR had a better chance of winning against Chris Cyborg. Let's look back at Cyborg. GDR is a Muay Thai fighter. Cyborg's lost against Zarina Bars, who's friends with GDR, who actually used to work together at as security. You know, these two could work together, find the weaknesses. What were the weaknesses? It was the knees. It was the lankiness in the fight against Jarina Bars. You guys can all go look on YouTube, type in Jarina Bars versus Chris Cyborg lion fight, and you can see that fight. Jarina Bars destroyed Cyborg, dropped her multiple times in that fight. You never seen that ever before. I think GDR had a great chance of actually beating Cyborg, and that would have really done it for her. Instead of her leaving the 145-pound division or even the UFC or MMA as, you know, that salty taste in everybody's mouth from the Holly Holm fight, she could have really made history by beating Cyborg, defending the title. You know, I think she had a better shot, Ted, than Megan Anderson would.
Good point there, Eddie. Yeah, but instead, GDR says she wants to return to 135.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing about the 145, there are no rankings for that, right? There's
didn't. No one there.
You know, it's like, when they established the strawweight division, they signed a whole bunch of people from Invicta, but they haven't done the same thing with the 145-pound division. They have not pulled a whole bunch of people. What's wrong with your tongue?
No, I was going back and forth. You'll have to watch the show, Ted. I was going back and forth between our logo with the Evil Eddie cartoon, and then it popped back to me like this, like the logo. Just trust me, Ted. I went to broadcasting school, all right?
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
What's wrong with your tongue?
What is wrong with that? Put that thing back in your mouth, boy. No, but anyway, yeah. So they didn't raid Invicta and get a whole bunch of 145ers there, or look elsewhere in the world, and build a division. So they kind of need to do that soon. But I guess we just forget that GDR versus Holly ever even happened. Just wipe that from the record books. We're starting over with Cyborg versus Megan.
And you know what,
I guess
Ted?
that's
I
one
do
way
have to say this. Before we make our predictions on this fight, I'm not excited about it. I'm really not. I wanted to see Amanda Nunes, and I know she's about to fight Valentina, my girl Valentina. But Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg, that's the fight to book, man. That's the fight to book. Don't give me these Lena Landsberg fights. Just telling our listeners, let us know what you guys think. Did you want to see Amanda Nunes or Megan Anderson? I mean, honestly, that's the fight to book. That was the fight to make. And Dana White shot that down immediately.
What fight again?
Megan Anderson versus Cyborg. That's exciting, and but not as exciting to me as Amanda Nunes, who's currently the 135-pound champion that recently knocked out Ronda Rousey and was actually calling out Chris Cyborg. That's the fight I wanted to see, Ted. Do you agree, or what are your thoughts here?
Okay, so Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg at 145.
Yes.
Yeah, there was some talk of that. Yeah, and then you could make GDR versus Valentina Shevchenko at 135.
There you go.
Strikers delight. Hey, strikers delight.
Muay Thai versus Muay Thai. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But you know what, Ted? The one issue, everyone knows Cyborg, and this really hasn't been an issue for any of the Cyborg fights because her name alone will bring people to the table. But if you add on the 135-pound champion who just knocked out Ronda Rousey, who's just been knocking out Miesha Tate at headlined UFC 200, there's a lot they could have done with that. And I don't know why they shot that down. I really don't. Why are you bringing the girls from
or maybe they're both from Brazil. Maybe they won't fight each other. A lot of Brazilians won't fight each other.
Well, Amanda was calling out for this, but Ted, you know what? Yeah. Honestly, imagine if Cyborg loses to Megan Anderson. I mean,
it could happen.
It's a mess. And you know what? Dana wants to slam his head into the wall. Ted, last thoughts here, really quick. Is this the fight you really wanted to see, though?
Well, no, I really wanted to see GDR versus Cyborg. That's the one I really wanted to see.
That's what we were saying for.
Right. So that's the fight that was going to be signed. That's the fight that I wanted to see. But I'll take this one. You know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll roll with it. I haven't watched a lot of tape on her, so I know she's very, very tall, right? She's about 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. I mean, like, she's a really, really tall, lanky chick. So that's about all I know. And she's from Australia, right?
Yeah. Yep. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. This is Evil Intoxicated, episode number 52, covering Ultimate Fighter Season 25, episode 10. After every episode, make sure you guys tune in next Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, from ProofMedia.com and MMA UK. That's Ted Check, the infamous one. Have a great night. Oh, and behave yourselves.